Hello everyone, this is Cubing Decoded. Welcome to the first video of my YouTube channel. Let's start with the 3x3 Rubik's Cube. It consists of centers which have one color each. For example, this is the orange center, this is the blue center, red center, white center, and so on. Next up are the edges which consist of two colors each. For example, these two colors make up an edge. So this is the white green edge, this is the orange green edge, this is the yellow orange edge, and this is the yellow blue, so the yellow blue edge. Next up are the corners. Each corner has three colors. For example, this is the white, orange, blue corner, white, red, blue corner, white, green, red corner, yellow, green, red corner, and so on. I would say there are 4 levels to solving the Rubik's Cube. They are the beginner, intermediate, advanced, and virtuoso methods. In this video, I'll be talking about the beginner method, which has 7 simple steps and 2 short algorithms. So stick on for the tutorial. To solve the cross, we must first find a white edge, which happens to be right here. Next, we must see what is the other color. In this case, it's red. The next step is to match the red part to the red center. In this case, it's already matched, although in this case, which is the white orange edge, it is not matched. So let us just take the easier case where it's already matched. Next up, we must just match it to the white center. In this case, you can solve it in one move, which is this. Let us try it with the white orange edge. In this case, we must first happen to find where the orange center is, which is right here. So we need to bring the white edge down here and to match it with the orange center, because if we do this move, it will match the white with the orange but not the orange with the orange. Therefore, we do this in order to bring the white edge down. Now we can match the orange center with the orange edge. Now you can see that the white edge can be brought up to the center with this. We also have to preserve this edge, so any move done should not affect the red edge or the orange edge. So let us try with the white blue edge, which happens to be right in front of us. In this case, the white is not on the side or on the bottom, but it's right in front of us. This is a slightly confusing case, and for this we must move the white to the side. Once we move it to the side, we have the option of bringing the blue to match it with the blue center. But while doing this move, we also mess up the white orange edge. In order to solve this, what we have to do is match the center. Now we can see that there is an edge and a center solved right here with the blue as well as the orange. So match it, then you match the blue center like this, and then you can bring the orange back like this. So pretty much the idea works something like bring the white edge to the side, then match the center. Next up, we bring the edge out of the cycle of motion of the edge already removed, which is orange in this case. So when you move it, it's out of the cycle of motion, and then we can move it back. So we are going to do it with the last one, which is green. So this is the white green edge, which the white happens to be down. So we are going to match the green with the green, which happens to happen in one move. Then we can bring it up like this. And voila, this is the cross. Although as you can see, there are a few corners solved, that does not matter. I'm going to shuffle it once again, and it's going to be completely random, and I'm going to explain it one more time. So first we find a white edge, for example this one and this one. I see that the white edge is already matched with the orange, so might as well just bring it up in one move. So as it's on the left, we can just bring it up like this. Next we can see a white edge which happens to be on the front. If it's on the front, we have to bring it to the side of the center. As you can see, is the white green edge, therefore it's already at the side. We can bring it up in one move, and there's no edge over here like last time, so it is out of the cycle of motion, and we can solve it in one move, that is this. Next we can see the white blue edge over here. As the white is down, we can just match the blue with the blue center in one move and bring it up in one move as well. as any move will affect the edges already done. For example, this affects the green edge, this affects the orange edge. Therefore, in order to solve this, we must have to do what we did for inserting an edge if it's in front of us. That is, we must move the edge to wherever we want it to be. For example, we want it to be down in this case, so we can bring it to the red center. Therefore, we just bring it down. But in this process, we also break the green edge from the cross. Therefore, we move this white-red edge out of the circle of motion. That is, by doing this move, we bring the white-red edge out of the circle of motion. And now we can bring it back up. So next up, we have the white-red edge which is in front of us. We can bring it to the red edge and realize that it's right in front of us. As it's in front, we have to move it to the side, like this. Next, we insert the red edge with the red center while messing this up, but this is no problem as we can insert the red center first, followed by the blue one. So, if the edge happens to be in front of us, we move it to the side and insert it. If it happens to be down, we can match the center and insert it. And if it happens to be already solved, then in one move you should be able to insert it like this. The second step is to solve the white side such that the first layer is also solved. As you can see, the blue is solved, the orange layer is solved, the green layer is solved, and the red layer is solved. In order to do so, we must first look for a white corner over here on this layer. As you can see, there is a white, green, orange corner with the white corner on this layer. So, step 1 for doing the corners is find what are the other two colors. In this case is the green and orange. Next, you must bring the corner in between the two centers. So in this case, green and orange happen to be over here. So we must bring the corner such that it's in between these two. Next, we must see if it's on the left side or the right side. In this case, it's on the right side. So what we have to do, to insert this white corner up here, we must do the following steps. On the right, move it to the left, bring the right down, bring it back, and then move it back up. Even though you removed a white corner, you inserted the right white corner in this spot, and as you can see, the orange green is solved and the white is solved as well. So we must repeat this 4 times such that we have all the 4 corners solved. So next we can see the white, red, blue corner where the white is on this layer. We must bring the white, red, blue corner between the red and blue centers like this, the red and blue centers. Next, as you can see, it's on the left side. So in this case, we must move the corner to the right, bring the left down, bring this back, and move the left back up. Once again, we have a white corner right here, and the other colors are red and green. So we must bring the white corner between the red and green. Next, we see that it's on the right side. So bring it to the left, bring the right down, move it back, and bring this up. Lastly, the white, orange, blue corner. Bring the corner in between orange and blue. We see it on the right side. So move it to the left, bring the right down, move this back, and bring it up. Sometimes there may not be any white corners on this layer. In that case, we must look for a white corner which happens to be on this layer or on the bottom. As you can see, there are 2 white corners, both in spots we don't want it to be in. For example, let us take this white corner. We have to bring it down here in order to insert it with 4 moves. In order to do that, we should do the exact opposite of what we did. That is, wherever we want to bring it, for example, if you want to bring it here, then we just do it with 1 move. Although in that process we messed up the cross, which is no problem because we can always do what we did in the cross, that is moving the corner out of the circle of motion and then bringing the cross back. Let me explain it again. If the corner happens to be on this layer, you can always bring it down, move it out of the cycle of motion, and then move it back. Now you can insert it normally with the form of insert, that is bring it between the orange and blue centers. Then as you see, it's on the right, so move it to the left, bring it down, move it back, and bring it up. As we can see, the last white corner happens to be right here on the layer which we want it to be. But let us just say the case happens to not go in our favor and the white happens to be down in this case. In that case, what we have to do is bring the corner anyway in between the two centers which you want it to be in. Then we have to bring it to wherever we want it to be in. So we can only do it in two ways, that is bring it this way on the right side or bring it on the left side like this. Either way, we are going to mess up the cross in one of the directions, and in order to solve the cross, we have to move the corner out of the cycle of motion and then bring it back. Now as you see again, the corner happens to be in the layer where we want it to be, so we bring the corner in between the two centers which are red and green, and then we insert it normally. As it's on the right, we move it to the left, bring the right down, move it back, and bring this up. The third step is to solve these four edges such that two layers are solved along with the white face, which leaves us only with the yellow face and the top layer to solve. Therefore, from holding it in this position, we must keep white down, and the rest of the steps should be done with white facing down. What you have to do first is look for an edge which does not have yellow. So in this case, this has a yellow up here, this has a yellow up here, this does not have a yellow, this does not have a yellow. So we can choose one of these edges. For example, let's do this one, which is the green orange edge. What you have to do is first match the orange with the orange center. Next, we must see that the green center is either on the left or the right. In this case, it's on the left. So what you have to do is move the edge to the opposite side. That is, we just see that the color is on the left side, therefore we move it to the right, bring the left up. Next, we just have to undo the two moves which we did. As we move the top layer to the right, we move it back to the left, and as we move the left layer up, we bring the left layer back down. As you can see, we have matched the corner with the edge, and we are going to insert it normally. Instead of inserting it while the corner was down, we are going to insert it while the corner is up. So while it's up, we see that it's on the right side, so we move it to the left, bring the right up, move it back, and bring the right down. We are going to repeat this process 3 more times. So as we see, the red blue edge is right up here, does not have any yellow edges, therefore we match it, which is also done. Now we see the other color, which is blue, and we see that the blue center is on the left, therefore we have to do what we did before. That is, we move it to the right and bring the left up. Next we undo the moves, that is bring this back and bring the left back down. Next we insert this corner normally, that is bring it to the left, bring this up, bring this back, and bring the right down. Next up, we see this red green edge. We match it with the red center, and we see that green happens to be on the right side this time. Therefore, we move the edge towards the left and bring the right up instead. Now we undo the moves again, that is bring this back and bring the corner back. Now we have this slot, so we move it to the right, bring this up, move this back, and bring it down. Lastly, we see that all the edges on top have yellow in it. This is a problem as we need to insert a non-yellow edge into the spot. It is clear that this edge happens to be flipped, although in the right spot. In order to bring this back on top, we have to do what we did to the other edges, but imagine a color is orange. For example, this is blue, we can imagine it's orange, or this is orange and we can imagine it's blue. Either way, let's just take this edge and imagine this is orange. Then we match the orange with the orange. Blue edge happens to be over here and the center happens to be on the right, therefore we move the edge to the left. We bring the right up, bring this back, and bring this down. Now we insert the corner normally, that is, it's on the left, so bring it to the right, bring this up, move it back, and bring it down. Now we have inserted the yellow blue edge in the spot where the orange blue edge used to be. Therefore, the orange blue edge happens to be right here, and we can do this step normally. Match the orange with the orange center, see that the blue center is on the right. Therefore, move this to the left, bring the right up, and then undo the two moves, and then insert the corner by moving it to the right, bringing this up, bring it back, and bring the left down. Step 4 is to keep the white face and the two layers, but solve the yellow cross at the same time. This is a simple step which just requires you to remember a 6-move algorithm. The cases could be different, but the algorithms are almost exactly the same. Let us take that there's a line. This is a line case and you're just going to see the edges and forget about the corners. These two edges are not solved, and in order to solve the line case, you must place it horizontal to us, that is, the edges are facing left and right. It can be in this way or this way, it does not matter. To do this, you have to see the 6-move algorithm, that is, bring the front layer clockwise, then do these 4 moves, that is, bring the right up, bring the top layer to the left, bring the right down, bring the top layer back, and undo that move you did with the front layer, that is, bring the front layer counterclockwise. This solves the cross. There can be also one more case, that is the L case. To solve the L case, we must bring the edges such that one of the edges is facing towards you and the other edge is facing towards the right. To solve this case, the front layer, instead of doing this, we bring the middle layer along with it, that is this front. Next, we do the same 4 moves, that is, bring the right up, bring the top layer to the left, bring the right down, and bring the top layer back, and then undo the front move. Once again, this solves the edges. As you can see, the corners do not matter. The next case is where there's only a dot. Although there could be corners solved, once again it does not matter as we're only seeing the edges. In this case, we have to do both the algorithms we learned before. That is, first do the front and then do the 4 moves and then undo that front move, and then do, as you can see, you have this case, so we can just do the small front and then do the 4 moves and undo the move. The 5th step is to solve the yellow edges, that is, these 4 edges right here. In order to do so, we must see what case we have gotten. There are 3 cases we can get, one of which is this case where everything is solved. The other 2 cases are where the 2 edges are not solved. The edges can be messed up, they're opposite from each other or they're next to each other. If they're opposite from each other, then you must keep it that one wrong edge is facing you and the other wrong edge is facing behind you. In that case, we do the following move order. We bring the right up and then we bring the top layer twice. Next, we bring the right down and then we just undo what we did. That is, we bring it back and then we bring the right up again so that we can insert the corner like this and then bring it down. Next, we match the edges like this. As you can see, these 2 edges are solved, therefore we need to solve the 2 edges which are not solved right here. In this case, we must just do the same algorithm again, except in this case, one wrong edge is facing towards you and the other wrong edge is facing towards the right. So do the algorithm, bring the right up, bring the top layer to the left twice, bring the right down, bring this back, bring the right up again, bring this back, and then bring it down. Then you just do one move to solve it. So if opposite edges are not solved, then you need to do the algorithm twice, and if sideways edges are not solved, you must do it once. The 6th step is to orient the corners such that it is in its spot but twisted or sometimes solved. Like in this case, the corner is twisted, over here it's solved, here it's twisted, and here it's solved. As you can see, this is the yellow, blue, red in between green and orange, yellow, blue, orange in between red and green, so all the corners are messed up. In order to orient them, there's a very short algorithm. Bring the left up, move the top layer to the left, now bring the right up. Next up, we're going to undo all of that, so we're going to bring the top layer back and bring the left layer back in. Next, we can bring the right layer back and bring it in. So most of the time, you're going to have the edges messed up and you should be able to solve it in one move, and one or all corners would be solved. So in this case, you can see this corner is solved, but these three corners aren't. So the solved corner is going to come to the bottom right. Like if you keep the face like this, you can see that this is the bottom right. And we're going to repeat the same algorithm again. So bring the left up, move the top layer to the left, bring the right up, bring the top layer back, bring the left down, bring the top layer back, and bring the right down. Next, once again, we do this move, and we can see that this corner needs to be oriented, this corner needs to be oriented, this corner needs to, as well as this, but they're all in the right spot, and therefore this step is done. Although sometimes you may have to do it 3 times, in this case we are done with doing this algorithm twice. If you have come this far, then give yourself a pat on the back, because this is the 7th and last step, and for this we must turn the face such that the yellow is on the bottom and we must see the corners which are not solved. In this case, all the 4 corners are not solved. We must see if the corner needs to move clockwise or anti-clockwise. So we can start with any corner. For example, let's start with this one. We can see that it needs to move in anti-clockwise. This isn't exactly an algorithm, but remember these 4 moves? This, and this. I wonder if you do, because that's how you make the yellow cross, and that's how you insert a corner, and many more. In order to do this algorithm, you just have to repeat this 2 or 4 times. If you need to insert a yellow corner anti-clockwise, you need to do it 4 times, and if you need to insert it clockwise, for example in this case, you must do it twice. So for this case it's anti-clockwise, so do it 4 times. 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, and 1 2 3 4. You may see it being messed up, but let's just continue doing it and see what happens. Instead of turning the cube, we move the bottom layer back to the same spot where we started with the right layer moves, and we can see that this has to go clockwise, so we have to do it twice. So 1 2. Next we bring the layer again, and we see that this needs to go clockwise. 1 2. Lastly we bring it here, and we can see that this needs to go anti-clockwise, and we do it 4 times. 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. Finally we should be able to solve it in a move. And that's the cube done. And voila, that's how you solve the Rubik's Cube in 7 simple steps. If you enjoyed this video, please click like and smash the subscribe button. If you have any queries, you can always comment on the comment section down below, and I'll see you soon. Bye.